Yes.
Perfect. So we're going to continue from where we left off yesterday. We were talking about the northern mountains and the characteristics of those mountains, the lifestyle of people on those mountains, and the importance of those northern mountains. This was a topic that we discussed in class yesterday. So majorly, we talked about how these northern mountains have an extremely significant role to play in the natural topography of Pakistan, the historical passes that there are connecting China and Afghanistan to Pakistan, a mutual border between China, Central Asian republics, and land out through Karakoram Highway. These mountains are a valuable source of minerals, timber, and fruits. They provide raw material to several industries like the furniture industry, chipboard, chemical industries. There's the scenic beauty which promotes tourist resorts. They are also a source of local income to the local people during summer breaks. Mountain peaks, they provide protection to Pakistan against cold winds of Central Asia. So they're all extremely important advantages that these mountains have. We are discussing Western mountains now. If you recall, the map that I showed you earlier, this one, that the entire western belt, the entire northwestern belt of Pakistan is basically it comprises of the western mountains, and these western mountains they majorly occupy some parts of the northwest frontier and most of the parts of the Balochistan province. Okay, this chunk here, this entire chunk on the left hand side is the western mountains chunk. They're having a discussion on the details of western mountains now. Um, hold on, yeah. So they're majorly at the border of the western territory of the country and the western side of the Himalayas as well. You know, if let's say Himalayas stretch, I'm just going to roughly draw this, that if this is the western border, this entire region is occupied by the western mountains. And generally, this is how Himalayas are like they run through like this. And this entire chunk, the western part of the Himalayas, is also a part of the western mountains. Okay, they are generally lower in altitude than northern mountains. Northern mountains because they're like literally over here at the top of the country, the northmost region. They're highest in altitude. So western mountains because this belt flows throughout the western region towards the southern areas. It is generally these mountains are generally lesser in altitude. They receive less amount of rain in winter. They run north to south direction. Again, this is the direction that we're talking about, guys. Here this is the north-south direction. That they start from the northern areas of the country and they run towards the southern areas. This is the direction, and there are certain examples. For example, Kohe Safed Range, the Waziristan Hills, Suleiman Ranges, Krithir Ranges. These are the four types of western mountains that we will be studying. Again, all of these western mountains are in the Balochistan province and the western border of the country. All clear up till now? Okay. Uh, then moving on to this map, look at this carefully. It explains placement of all of these mountain ranges. Kohe Safed over here, the Waziristan Hills over here, the Suleiman Range is placed a little southern to it, and then we have got this central Baruhi ranges. And if so, basically, let me just hold on for a second. Yeah, Pritha Range as well. So basically, this these are all the western mountains that we'll be studying. Majorly these four: Kuhe Safed, Waziristan Hills, Suleiman Range, Pritha Range, and look at the placement. That this is the entire western border of the country, and this is where all of these mountains are placed. Okay. Um. All right. Moving further, the Safedko Range. Generally, it is located towards the south of River Kabul, and River Kurum flows in its north. You don't have to go through the specific details, guys. I will just tell you the important details that you need to know. That generally, it is located in the south of River Kabul. Khyber Pass is located on South Kohe Safed Range. Generally, the like extreme winters, people adopt a nomadic lifestyle, same as the northern mountains. And Peshawar and Kohat Valley are important centers over here. Okay. Then Waziristan Hills, they are located between Kuram and Gomal rivers, and they are between Pakistan and Afghanistan. And the Kuram Dam on the river Kuram is the main source of irrigation on this mountain range. Okay. Then we've got Suleiman Mountains. The Suleiman Mountains are located towards the west of River Indus. the western side, and they are a very important source of limestone, sandstone, shale rocks. Okay, and generally the link Quetta and Sibi. These are the areas between which these mountains run. Then we've got the Kritha Ranges, the last ones. Kritha Ranges are in the south of Suleiman Ranges in the Balochistan Plateau. They are in the border of Sindh and Balochistan province. They're like between these two provinces, and they merge with the low-lying hills of Sindh region. So their altitudes are lesser as compared to the other mountains. Okay. So this was it about the mountains. You don't have to remember any other detail, guys. The reason is you won't be questioned specifically on these mountains in the paper. You'll just be asked to maybe refer to any of the information that you already know about the Western Mountains. You won't be asked any other specific information regarding these mountains. Just two to three main points you should know, and that too for any thing that you want to mention in your answers, because if you start mentioning these facts and figures, it would make your answers more strong. So I would suggest that you guys mention these facts and figures in your answers. If there's the question related to mountain ranges, the northern western mountains, just don't forget to mention these details.
Sir, we should only know about the irrigation and drainage features.
Yeah, majorly irrigation drainage, yeah, there's some areas as well. Because I was telling you about, yeah, this is between Kabul, River Koram. It covers like it has Khyber Pass connecting Pakistan to Afghanistan. Location you should know because that's a bit important. Peshawar and Kohar, these ranges also, these are two important values. Then for Waziristan Hills, it's majorly between Pakistan and Afghanistan. Okay, Banu is an important value over there. Then for Suleiman ranges, it's Quetta and Sibbi. So you and Sindh and Balochistan for Kritha ranges. So these are like important features. Because once you know these locations, there's a lot that you can write on these. Because you would know the topography of these areas, you would know the lifestyle of people on these areas. So automatically, if you know where to locate these mountains, like you can definitely write a lot on it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. इसी के अलावा the next bit is on Balochistan Plateau. This is a bit important topic, guys. Just like Potwar Plateau, we're going to study two plateaus that are in our syllabus. Um, so Balochistan Plateau is the entire region of Balochistan. Plateau क्या होता है? Plateau is any landform that is lesser in altitude than the northern mountains, but higher in altitude in the plain areas. So this is sort of an intermediary landform which sort of lies on the topography of Pakistan, which are plateaus. Balochistan is on a plateau. The entire Potwar region of Rawalpindi, Islamabad is on a plateau. All right, because they're not like northern areas. They're not lowlands. It's just like in between. So um, other than that, if you look at the features of Balochistan Plateau, they're on the western side of Suleiman Kritha ranges. So everything beyond to the left of Suleiman Kritha ranges is the Plateau Balochistan. Majorly, the Suleiman Kritha ranges is separate Balochistan Plateau from the Indus Plains. Indus Plains is the entire region. If let's say this is the map of Pakistan again, so generally if I divide it like this, so this entire region on the right hand side is the Indus Plains region, starting from the central region of Punjab and onwards to the areas of Sindh. Then on the left hand side is this particular chunk is the Balochistan Plateau we're talking about on the southwestern border of Pakistan, southwestern territory. Okay, all right. Other than that, um, the boundary of Iran and and Afghanistan is sort of very much close to the boundary of Balochistan Plateau on the western side. 600 to 3,000 meters is the average altitude of this plateau. Altitude varies. 3,000 is not a lot. 600 is not even plainer areas would be just above sea level, whereas 600 is even beyond plain areas. And 3,000 is not a lot for a plateau. Generally, northern mountains, they have a higher altitude, even beyond 3,000 meters. This area is devoid of natural vegetation because of lesser rainfall. Balochistan experiences less rainfall. The climate is very harsh, even in summers and winters. Landscape is covered with rugged mountains, lesser vegetation. You'll see if you travel to Balochistan, you will start seeing these rocky mountains and rocky landforms. Very less vegetation, very less forests. Okay, and very less greenery. So some rivers, they also join river Indus. For example, rivers Hob and Kalachi. They are like two important drainage features of this region. You should also know that all of these rivers, they flow towards the western side and beyond it to the Arabian Sea, because eventually all of the rivers, they flow into Arabian Sea. Then there are small valleys, some small plains, hill ranges, water bodies, deserts on this plateau. Climate is dry. Generally, hot winds blow in summers. It's extremely cold in winters because, again, it does not rain. There are very dry winters, very cold winters. Okay. These are some important topographical features of the Balochistan Plateau. The northern basins, the western basins. Basins are these shallow areas where, they're very close to water, and even like these shallower areas on the plateaus. Northern Western basins, mountain ranges, the coastal areas, these are all the topographical features of the Balochistan Plateau. Look at this detailed map of the plateau. This is a zoomed in version of the entire western belt of Pakistan, the southwestern belt that I initially highlighted. If this entire orange land is the Balochistan Plateau, you see, look at the height variation. Look at the key here. Some of the chunks are almost 2,000, 3,000 meters. Some are literally on 100 to 199 meter, and 199 is majorly this Sindh Plains areas. And you guys can make a comparative analysis that how these orange and yellow regions are a bit higher as compared to these green regions. That is because this is a plateau and this green region is a plain area. Plain area is almost 0 to maybe 90, 90 to 100 to 199 meters, whereas anything beyond that, 200 to 499, 500 to 600, and 2000 meters, and beyond to 3000 meters is all the plateau region. And these are all the western mountains that are also over here. You see different passes, you see different borders over here, and you see its eventual connection to the Arabian Sea as well. So all of the drainage features that flow from the plateau, they eventually join the Arabian Sea towards the southern end. Guys, does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes, all clear. Hamza, you as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. Guys, we are gonna keep it till here for the day because we can move on to an assignment right away. Balochistan Plateau has a lot of other details as well that we're gonna continue discussing in tomorrow's lesson. But for now, what we're supposed to do is whatever we have studied on the Balochistan Plateau, you guys are supposed to comment on the topography and landforms of this plateau. So we've had a discussion in this lecture. Now your assignment is to discuss the topography and the landform, whatever you've learned today about this plateau in maybe 100 to 150 words. This document of these notes is already there in the group. You guys will have to refer to that document to answer this question. Okay?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.